Welcome to the Straight Up Pod. I'm Sujeiry.
I'm Jessi.
And we're here to talk about love,
sex,
motherhood,
empowerment
from a growth mindset.
Woo!
Cover your ears, people.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. My pants are very tight, YouTube. I ate a lot of lasagna that I reheated. And so I am stuffed like a sardine. How are you?
God. I'm good. I'm good. I'm very, very tired today.
No.
Yeah, I'm sleepy. I'm very tired. I don't know if it's the whole
it's a time change. You are the fifth person that has told me that they have had insomnia
and
this
I've been
week.
sleeping. No, I'm lying. Last night, I was up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't go back to sleep.
Okay, so the weird thing is,
but then my husband put me to sleep.
Hey, I was gonna go spiritual, but we can go biblical instead. So the funny thing is that the same thing happened to me last night, but like at 2 something, and my sister told me was up too. And there's this whole thing on TikTok that's called the 4 a.m. Club, and I don't know if it's like. I'm not part of the 4 a.m. club, but it's all these supposedly on election day. I say allegedly because I wasn't there. But on election night or whatever, all these women woke up at 4 a.m. And so this spiritual woman on TikTok kind of shared her story like, I was up at 4 a.m. Was anyone up at 4 a.m.? Like, and then all these comments flooded in like, oh my God, me too, me too. So then they labeled themselves the 4 a.m. club. And so they say spiritually that when women wake up at the same time, it is the rise of the feminine. Like something spiritual is happening.
I never heard that. That's
yes,
very
girl.
interesting.
You got to get on spiritual TikTok. It is over. I'm all about spiritual talk and astrology talk.
Very interesting. Sometimes I do think like when I do wake up in the middle of the night like that and I can't sleep, I think about my daughter. And I'm thinking, is she up at this time? So then, like, the next day we'll talk, and it just so happens that she was up.
The power of the feminine, the power of the mother.
I think about texting her, like, to see if she's up because I'm up. But then I'm like, if she's sleeping, I don't want to, like,
Does she not put her phone on, like, do not disturb?
I think she does, yeah. I think she does. But,
I never used to do that.
I don't do that.
I
stopped. Certain text messages, I will mute for the night.
Right.
But, like, my daughter, my brother, my dad, my mom, like if anybody, God forbid, has to get in touch. Yeah, no.
Well, do not disturb. I think so. The way I have it set up, because I was always like, I would never do that. And if there's an emergency, but then I keep getting all these text messages from like Verizon, your bill has been paid. or like a notification of some app. I forgot to not have notifications on. And now I have all these notifications from Poplin, my laundry service. And I'm like, I thought I just accepted notifications for when you got my laundry, not all the ads, right? But if you have someone, there's a way to put people as like your emergency contact.
See, I don't play around with that, so I don't know. I'm sure Alexis does.
Well, yeah, my sister did it for me. So even if your phone is like on, like whatever's happening with your phone, like if people can't reach you, those people can because it bypasses anything. Because you've labeled them as an emergency contact.
Okay, yeah. I'll see. I'll figure it out. But
she's like, I'm just gonna not have it under no disturbs. Leave my leave my system alone. I am not changing it for nobody. Speaking of not changing for anybody, you like that segue? Today's topic is the power of saying no. And she just said no to me in more ways than one. I think you said no to me the way a lot of people say no.
How is that?
Not direct, but like in your body language or like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Or like, let's move on. People, that's how people usually say no.
Yeah, I get it.
Right? Yeah. So I'm assuming you don't have a problem saying no.
No.
But was that always the case?
No.
Okay. So what changed?
I think as I got older, the boundaries that I set, I always say boundaries have always led me pretty much to the woman that I am now. And
what boundaries are those? Do tell.
Just not being afraid of saying no. If there's something that I don't want to do, like before I would feel bad. Oh, but I should because, fulana. Da, da, da. Now it's like, I don't want to.
But how did you get over feeling bad? Because I feel like I'm still there. I'm still at a point where, depending on who it is, not everyone, because I can say no in this example of, hey, fulana de tal invited me. And for everyone who doesn't speak Spanish, fulana de tal is a thing that a lot of Caribbean Latinos say to say like so-and-so.
Right.
Basically. But depending if it's like someone that I'm really close to, like I will maybe go more than I would say no. Even if I didn't feel like it. Like I would kind of rally.
I understand that.
I would rally. So what got you to the point of like, even if it's someone you know would be upset about it, that you don't want to be upset, to saying no?
I've just been learning how to put myself first. If I don't want to put myself in a situation or be somewhere that I don't want to be in, that doesn't feel energetically positive to me.
Right.
Or if I know that people are coming from like a certain standpoint and I don't do that anymore.
So if someone's not, if someone and a situation, a circumstance, an environment is not energetically aligned to the version of you that you are now, it's easy for you to say no.
Very much so.
And you can discern what that situation is. Like you can look at an invitation or like.
It's not even just the environment, but the people.
Right.
You know, and I've learned that my mental health, my peace of mind, my sanity, is just too important for all that bullshit anymore. You know, like the gossiping and you know, people playing victim. I'm so fucking over that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so over it. It's just not for me anymore.
Yeah, I feel like I've said no and I've learned to say no, and it took me a really long time. What helped me to say no was when we were in isolation because of COVID. And so I had the freedom to say no.
Right.
Because I wasn't meeting up with anybody.
Right.
Right. And for me, it goes way beyond like an invitation, come to my house, come to a party, come to dinner. I have learned to say no to like even quiet time, like people that want to take some of my time, even if it's a phone call, even if it's like for me, I started really just wanted to, when I have dinner, to like not be on the phone with anyone. You know, if I want to watch a YouTube or a TikTok, I will, but I don't watch TV. I try to be intentional and talk to Evan. If I'm eating alone, you know, maybe we'll scroll or whatever. If I'm having dinner with friends, like I'm not on my phone.
Right.
But sometimes like I get calls from like my sister or my mom or like my bestie. And before I would just keep talking, even though like I didn't want to have a conversation while having dinner. Like I just wanted to focus on that moment.
Yeah.
But, I felt like, oh, I'm going to be rude if I'm like, hey, I'm eating. Can I call you later? Or even if I'm doing something like I'm writing, I would just pick up, hey, I'm writing. Can I call you later?
Yeah.
It was hard for me to get to that point during COVID. There was so much isolation and so much time alone that I that's when it was like to me, oh, wow, if I said no more, I would have more of this time to like reflect, to create, to be present, right? To not just constantly be pulled in a million directions by other people. So that had a huge effect on me because I was forced into not having to please people because they just weren't around me. You know, I didn't have anyone asking me for much during COVID, you know? Yeah. So I think if you are struggling with saying no, for me, a lot of that was cultural.
Yes.
Right?
Definitely. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people can relate regardless of your culture. But I think it's also like having to be like being a woman, right? Because if you can't say no, like the opposite of that is usually being a people pleaser, right? You're not putting yourself first. You're compromising what you want, what you really feel, what you really need to put someone else first.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you're afraid like of rocking the boat, being rejected, making somebody upset. Like that's the definition.
Disappointing people.
Disappointing people.
Yeah. I don't give a shit.
We know, Jessi. We know.
I just don't. Like my time is very precious to me. So like you, like whereas before if I was doing something for myself and I would get a text message or a phone call, like I would take away from me to respond to that text message or to pick up that phone call. When in reality, I didn't want to pick up the phone call.
Yes.
Like I was doing me at that moment.
Whatever that is, even if that's like watching TV, watching a housewife show. Yeah.
Like, excuse me. Sometimes even driving, I won't have any music. I just want to be in silence. I see my phone ringing. Not right now.
You know, I don't know if that's a maturing thing. I don't even want to say age, but I don't, because I feel like some people have always liked silence.
Yeah.
I had a hard time with silence, but again, COVID kind of forced it upon me. And then I started appreciating that quiet of like, I drive with no music on almost always now. I don't have, especially when I'm driving by myself, like, and Evan is, unless I'm going a long distance and I'll put something on.
Yeah.
But now I mostly drive without music because there is something about just being in my car on the road and just quiet. And the only thing that I'm thinking that is coming up is my thoughts. And that's when I'm very intentional and I'm affirming and I'm thinking about the things that I'm creating. And I'm kind of like in my mind getting lost as I'm focused on the road, of course. And like hyping myself up of all the things that I'm creating and the beautiful life that I have. And I can't wait for this and I can't wait for that. That's like when I'm daydreaming, but like just with my thoughts,
No, me too. Even when I'm home, like when I'm home by myself, nobody's home. Well, my husband's not home. I'm by myself. I don't have the TV on. I don't have the music. I love that peacefulness, that quietness, and just being in my thoughts and journaling or writing or reading, whatever it is that I'm doing for myself at that moment, So, it's
not everybody gets it.
No, if I've never really been a people pleaser.
I was to an extent.
Yeah, no, I was never really like that, but I would feel bad about certain things if I would think about it and, oh my God, if I say no, they're going to think this or they're going to feel this or whatever.
Yeah, I was a person that always showed up. So like, even if I had a headache, even if I wasn't feeling well, especially in my 20s, like if I said I was going to be somewhere, especially if it was like a special occasion, a birthday, whatever, even if it was just like, you just want to hang out, like I wouldn't cancel, even if it was like a snowstorm. Like I was that person and I've always been that friend. Right. But as I've like just kind of asked myself like, but why? Right? Because there were a lot of times where I didn't want to go, where I just wanted to be home, or where I knew there would be conflict. And I had to ask myself, well, why am I saying yes to everything instead of saying no? If intuitively I really feel like, as women especially, we get that like, I don't know, should I go? Yes. Like, I don't really feel like it. I
go with my gut all the time.
I didn't listen to that for a very long time in my life. I started really listening to it probably in my late 30s. And I realized the cause of me saying yes all the time and not saying no even when I really felt like I should have was like, again, fear of disappointing people, fear of making people mad. And for me, even deeper was like, well, if I don't show up for people, will they show up for me? Right. So it was like that little trigger of wanting to be a consistent, loyal friend to get that reciprocated. Right. And I had a hard time when people would say no to me. I had a hard time. I was that girl that was like that friend, that girlfriend, that partner that was butthurt if someone set boundaries and said no. So I know I have been on the other side of, not being respectful or people being like, I don't feel like it. And I would take it personal. Right. But that I know now that was always a me thing. It was not a them thing. It was it was just like a lot of triggers for me. Yeah. So the silence thing for me is funny because I think my sister texted me. Yeah, she did. And I'm going to talk about her. I haven't talked about her for a while because one thing about me, guys, is that if you're like, oh, I see you're always talking about me, I'm going to be like, watch me never talk about you again. Because I'm rebellious like that. Okay. But she's someone, love her to death, but I have had to learn how to say no to her because she is someone that she even said to me recently, you don't really call me. You never call me. I only talk to you because I call you. So hey, and I said, I don't call anyone. I said, the only person I talk to when I call every day is my mom, and she's my bestie. So mom trumps sister and best friends and everyone else. But that wasn't always me. I was the person that would always pick up the phone and always. And it's not that I don't want to talk to people. It's that silence. It's that time of just being with me that I really cherish now. Yeah, and I wish I would have learned sooner.
I do too. But you know what? There's always a time. You know, your time always comes. Yes. So
everybody has their own process.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've always been one to go with my gut. Even with my daughter, I tell her all the time that chiquita, I've always instilled in her, if something doesn't feel right, go with that feeling. Go with how you feel, you know.
Well, that also, in order for people to do that, men or women, that requires a lot of self-trust.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't have that trust in themselves.
Yeah. So that's always been me. That's always been me. I've learned throughout the years, and I want to say after I was told that, or diagnosed, I should say, with lupus, because I claim all the time that I don't have it.
She don't got no lupus.
But so after that, I also noticed that I started listening to my body a lot more. And if I wasn't feeling good, I'm not going. Right. If I wake up feeling sick, I'm not going. If there's a lot of walking, I'm not going. Because I know how my body is going to react afterwards.
I'm left at the walking part. Like, you want me to walk an extra mile? Not in these shoes, bitch.
You know, so I've learned to listen to myself, my intuition, my body, my feelings.
But that's what we should do as people. We should really, and it's just the reason also why I said yes a lot was because I felt like saying no was selfish. A lot of people think that saying no is selfish, but the thing is that people also put that on us because the times that I did say no to like my ex-partner, my father's, the father of my son, he would kind of be like, well, you're not really thinking about my feelings. Like, I was painted out when I did say no as, oh, you're only thinking about yourself. Tú eres una egoísta. You're egotistical. That's how, especially women, are painted when they say no, right? Because, again, we have this, like, stereotype of women are supposed to be nurturing. We're supposed to be giving. I'm like, but I got to give to myself first, right? Exactly. So I have learned to listen to my body. I've learned to be more discerning. And for me, you know, you said it was like when you were told you had lupus, but we don't claim that, so that is not her reality. When I had my brain hemorrhage, right, after I had my son, like 4 weeks after I had my son, you know, a lot of it's put in perspective. And at the time, like, me and my ex were going through a lot of problems already. And I had to be like, yo, I have a newborn son. I almost died. My relationship is falling apart. Yeah. And it was, once I came out on the other side of that, like 8 months to a year later, that's when I was like, yo, what do I want? What makes me happy? Does this relationship make me happy? Is this the way I want to raise my son? Am I in the career that I want? Am I just settling for shit? And that's when I started putting my foot down with myself. Like, no, I am not the Sujeiry that I remember that I was when I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in college. Like, the world is my oyster. Right. Yeah. I am setting limits on myself and people pleasing and appeasing my partner and everyone else to, like, not rock the boat, right? And so all that kind of me puse como una fiera. Well, you know what they say, like, you just become like una leona, like, wow. I was a little lamb for a while, you know, and health and motherhood and partnership, especially if you're not in the right partnership, can do that, can silence you and mute you in a lot of ways. Yeah. And then the health stuff definitely kind of like, you're like, am I in control of my life? Like, what the hell happened, buddy? We was good. We buddy. Right? You're supposed to watch out for me. So I know that was the start. And at that point, I was 40 when I broke up with my ex. That was the start of, like, I'm putting myself first. If you think that's selfish, then fuck it. I'm selfish. Call me selfish. Fuck it.
Rock that boat, bitch. Rock that boat.
We gonna sink this shit with all the no's. We gonna be like, no. And we're gonna overboard. Man, overboard, so many no's. That's how hard you're rocking, girl. So
but you know, it's you go through things and it puts life into perspective.
And when you go through things, I feel like that's your opportunity to be like, who do I want to be in this moment?
Right. Yeah.
What do I want my life to be? Do I want to keep doing the same stuff that led me here? Or do I want to say, what have I been doing that I need to change? Maybe that's saying no. Maybe that is putting yourself first, because all saying no is putting yourself first.
Exactly.
Like Jessi said in the beginning of the podcast.
And it's not, don't think of it as you're being selfish or you're only thinking about yourself. Even if you are just thinking about yourself, it's okay.
It is. And that's the thing. I had to be okay with saying
selfish.
Yeah, I'm like, if it's part of human nature. Some people are selfish. Why don't I have the right to be selfish? Why am I not giving myself permission to sometimes be selfish and think about myself first and foremost?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And so it is kind of a mind fuck when you're on the other side and you're like, damn, this whole time I was living for other people instead of living for me. And this life is mine. It's no one else's. No one else is in this skin, in this body, in this beautiful body, in this beautiful face.
Nope.
With this beautiful, luscious hair. Check us out on YouTube.
Nope.
We got a new setup. I got a new couch, you too. How you feeling it? Look at this beautiful midnight velvet. Evan is like, ooh, this couch is so soft, mommy. I said, I bought it just for you, baby, because I know you like a velvet couch. So what advice would you give anyone who's listening, or millions of listeners, that's what I'm claiming, how they can say no? Let's say they're listening today, tomorrow. What can they do to be comfortable?
I mean, it's for someone that is not used to that.
Yeah,
right?
like if you're not their norm.
People pleaser, you know, and you're constantly anxious and worrying and thinking, you know, well, what are they going to think? What are they going to say? Or, you know, they may never talk to me again.
Yes.
Then they're not meant to be in your life, number one, if they're never going to talk to you again because you decide to put yourself first. I'm sorry. That's my opinion, you know. It would be something that would take time, you know, especially if it's something that you're not used to, you know, but
what's one step they can take to get comfortable with it? So like, let's say someone's hearing this and they're like, damn, that's me. I literally cannot say no. And I panic and I worry and I tend to just kind of go along to get along, or just like say yes because I don't want to be selfish, right? Or I don't want to rock the boat. What's one thing they can do to feel a little bit more comfortable with like getting closer to the no that they really want to say, or setting that boundary that they really want to set?
It's not something that's going to happen overnight. I can tell you that. But think about you. That's what I would say. Start with that. Think about you, because it is about you.
Yeah.
You know, so think about you first. Put yourself first. You know, if there's a situation where you don't want to be in, somebody you don't want to be around, a conversation you don't want to have, just think about it. You know, and just say to yourself, is this what I want right now at this moment?
It's about being introspective.
You know, it's okay if you pick up the phone. Oh, I really can't talk right now. You know, I'll call you tomorrow.
You don't have to go to the extreme, you know? And being like, I'm saying no to everyone.
Yeah, no,
like if that's not where you're at, right? Don't do it. But it is that step of it is that step of checking in.
Yes.
Like, okay, if I say yes to this, how's it going to make me feel?
Exactly.
And that's already your first indication.
Have to think about. Exactly.
That's your first indication.
Exactly.
And then and if you still say yes, right, then you come back and check in with yourself. Okay, why did I say yes? Okay, and then practice, instead of saying no, like Jessi said, practice being like, I'm just gonna not pick up the phone this time, so I don't even have to give an answer.
Just see how it makes you feel. Like take these little steps and see how it
checking
makes you
in
feel
with
and
yourself.
If it's something that you feel good about, and it makes you feel better about yourself, keep doing it.
Keep moving in that direction.
There's nothing wrong with it. I guarantee you guys, there's nothing wrong.
But I love that. I think that it is a moment to moment check-in thing.
Absolutely.
It's hard to go all or nothing on this thing. It really is. As my sister calls me after I told her, Jessi's here. She's going to be like, I forgot you were recording the podcast. Never mind. No. It's a 2-letter word. No. It's so easy. But I do think it is about that moment to moment checking in, right? Even if it's something as simple as, okay, this is making me feel X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Why?
Right.
And then, like, if you have another feeling of anxiousness, okay, but why? And just getting really, because the deeper you go, then you find the root of your saying yes all the time and your people pleasing.
And if you go against yourself and you go and you do it anyway, or you speak to that person, or you pick up the phone, or you're in this environment where you didn't want to be in, think about it afterwards, and how did it make you feel afterwards?
Yes.
You knowing inside of yourself that that's not what you wanted,
and you do it anyway,
but you went and you did it anyway. How did that make you feel?
That's like you betraying yourself. So think about it that way. It's you betraying yourself.
Yeah.
So I'll do the journal prompt after, because I just thought about one.
I have something too.
Okay, so we have 2 journal prompts. Hooray! Any truth bombs, or do you think we've had enough truth?
I think that was the
I
truth
think that
bomb.
the learning how to say no. This whole episode was a truth bomb. Okay?
Absolutely.
This whole episode.
Absolutely.
Okay, before you forget, what's your journal prompt?
Oh no, I wrote it down.
Oh, you wrote it down. Okay.
Yes,
Hey,
girl.
look at her.
Let's see. I was prepared.
This is before.
This
is
time.
Based on the episode.
Actually, I have 2 of them.
Oh, look at that. Which one? Let me see.
That's basically what I just said.
Yes. So, yeah, do that one.
So, this is what I want.
Oh, my journal prompt is a follow up to that. I love it. We didn't even talk about it. We're so in sync.
So, in your journal prompt, guys, I want you to write down what fear, whether it's disappointing others, missing out on something, FOMO, prevents you from setting boundaries. And how can you feel safer saying no?
Love it. And on top of that, so write that down, rewind it if you need to hear it again, write it in your journal. Then the second step of that is, because I'm all about affirmations, whatever that fear is, let's say the fear is, I'm afraid to disappoint people. Mm-hmm. You turn that on its head and create an affirmation. I am always accepted as I come. That could be a good one. People love me unconditionally. That could be another one. Everyone accepts my boundaries. That's a third one. I say no easily. I listen to my body. Literally, just riff on the journal. Like, how can I turn this fear into statements that are the opposite of the fear? Mm-hmm. Right? And then, in every day in your life, turn off that music in that car, baby. And instead of listening to Bad Bunny. Body, 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 but instead of listening to that and jamming, you start thinking, everyone respects my boundaries. I can say no easily. Mm-hmm. I have no fear when it comes to saying no. I put myself first. Nobody feels disappointed. Everybody respects the fact that I set boundaries for myself. And you literally have that internal dialogue as many times a day as you can in that silent moments that you're going to create for yourself after you have this podcast. Even if you have kids, even if you have a whole ass husband and a whole ass wife and maybe a side piece, you are going to... You are going to prioritize yourself, because what we're telling y'all to do, that journal prompt, and what I'm asking you to do for the affirmations, that is one of the first steps to putting yourself first. Checking in, following up with that mindset shift. Can I get a mic drop? No. Yeah, do that. Because if I did, it would be like boom, 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 boom. Just like my ceiling went right now with my neighbors upstairs. That's what I heard. Oh, wow. I love this episode.
I do too. And I would also just start out with just taking 5 minutes a day for a week to yourself. Just 5 minutes. Start with 5 minutes, and little by little you can increase the time. But to me, that solo time is so important.
That should be another episode.
It's so important.
There's some people that are afraid to be alone and afraid of solo time. So we're going to talk about, that's a very specific reason, and I think it's important to explore why people find themselves constantly putting themselves in busy situations. There's some people that literally, if they have free time, they will find something to do with it because they don't want to not do anything, right? Yeah. That busy mind, right? I love it. Also, we're still looking for first-time stories.
Yes, guys. Thank you to everyone that has sent us your stories.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yes.
We will cut it off on Monday, the 20th.
Monday
No.
the 20.
No.
Monday the 16th.
Monday the 16th. Yes.
March 16th will be the last day to enter your stories because we have to record the episode, guys.
Yes.
Okay. And I think the last thing is follow us on Instagram at The Straight Up Pod. Okay.
YouTube.
Hello, whoever's watching at The Straight Up Pod. We're also going to be doing like little hot topics. So if you want to watch us talk about specific topics, pop culture, what's trending, that's like 5 to 6 minutes. We're going to be doing that once a week as well. So make sure to follow us on Instagram and subscribe, especially to YouTube, because that's where those hot topics are dropping. Yeah. You want to hear our opinion on everything.
Yes, you do. And we want to hear yours. DM us. Our DMs like always, are always open. Send us topic ideas.
Yes. What do you want us to talk about? Yes.
If you want advice on something.
Yes.
And
I'm saying no. I should say no. Opposite. No. Review. What is it? Rate,
subscribe.
My mind went blank. Rate, review,
and share,
subscribe.
guys. Share. Tell a person to tell a person to tell a person. You know how it goes.
Okay. Till next time.
See you next week. Bye.